Lele Sacchi with
Yeah,
us.
you can imagine me. You see me quite a few times,
Lele,
so okay,
Lele.
imagine seeing me.
I know your face. I know your face.
Okay, so you're going to present yourself, we could say.
No, no, you're going to ask me questions, right?
Yeah, Laurent, ok, grazie a tutti e a tutte per essere qui stasera. Vi do uno spoiler, vedrete un film bellissimo, un film sull'ultima, secondo me, vera rivoluzione culturale e sociale legata alla musica, che è l'arrivo dell'house e della techno. Laurent Garnier è tuttora uno dei protagonisti ed è stato dall'epoca in cui queste ondate musicali sono arrivate uno dei prime mover, una delle persone che è stato evangelista di questa cultura, di questa scena. Essendo in una sala di cinema e siccome stiamo per vedere un film, la prima domanda è relativa proprio a come Laurent è arrivato a ideare e a realizzare, a scrivere questo film, questo documentario che stiamo per andare a vedere, che è basato sulla sua storia ma che racconta molto di più della sua vita, racconta un po' anche la vita di milioni di persone che sono state coinvolte da questa ondata in giro per il mondo. Laurent, the first question has to be about how the movie became a movie. I mean, you wrote a book, but we know that writing a book it's something, but actually producing a movie, writing, producing, finding the right director, everything it takes so much, time, money. So we want to know, how did it come out?
I am not the producer, okay? I am not the producer. Okay, I try to make a long story short, but I got approached by a few people to make a documentary, and when I asked them what they wanted to do, all of them wanted to make a movie about me and my career, and I didn't think it was interesting enough. So I refused all the proposals because without everybody else in this scene, I would have never been who I am. So I thought it was very reductive to only do one film about me as the main topic. So I kind of, thought perhaps there's a demand for a documentary, but I need to find the right person to do it with. So I actually met Gabin Rivoire, the director, in 2013, and I loved his short film, and I liked what he did. I like the way he was filming music, and I approached him and I said, Gabin, would you be interested in following me and perhaps filming some of my gigs? And then he came with me to a couple of gigs, and then from that we went on a road, and slowly we got together and we started to talk about perhaps making a documentary, and it kind of grew together. That's just the way it happened. And by me telling him the story, he thought, yeah, let's do a documentary, let's tell the story to everybody.
Avete bisogno di traduzione o andiamo con l'inglese? Andiamo con l'inglese? Ok, so we just
Andiamo con
andiamo
l'inglese.
con l'inglese. Laurent poi parla
Sì.
italiano, però
No.
a little bit, come
Capisco.
on, we are
I understand,
yeah,
I
I know you
understand.
One thing, una cosa che mi ha colpito moltissimo del film è che c'è tanta allegria, c'è tanta festa, c'è tanta energia, ed è una cosa che per esempio insomma, noi siamo DJ, ho scritto che nel mio libro tutti i DJ hanno per forza un amore per la musica, perché questo è un film di musica, che parla di musica, ma anche un amore per la festa, per il party. E c'è una percentuale che cambia a seconda di chi fa questo lavoro in un modo o in un altro, più o meno, ma ci devono essere tutte e due. Allora vorrei chiedere a Laurent in che percentuale c'è questa cosa nella sua carriera, nella sua vita. Laurent, one thing that struck me about the movie is how much happiness it shows. There's a lot of partying, there's a lot of smiles, of hands raised up. there's happiness in the movie, you know, and because it's about parties as well. I mean, it's a movie about music, but there's the partying, and as
Yeah.
you know, I wrote this thing, you know, that DJs have to have a percentage of both. It's impossible to be a DJ if you don't love music, but it's impossible to be a DJ if you don't love partying as well. And there's a percentage of that. How much of those two percentages are in you?
You know, I think it would be very strange to want to make people dance if you can't dance yourself. It would be very strange to try to create a party mood if you can't catch the fever. Um, it's 100%. It needs to be 100%, man. You need to love music 100%. You need to love sharing things with people. You need to love meeting people. It's not about you. It's about everybody being together. It's about togetherness. It's not about you being the boss. You know, when you're on stage, that's bullshit. If you can't read the crowd, understand the crowd, have a relationship with the crowd, and share music with them, I think it's wrong. So I would say it's 200%. It's 200%.
Okay. So, but these words and what we can see in the movie, you know, is such a global scene, you know, that we reach the moment right now where you could go to Los Angeles to a Romanian minimal techno party, and there are Romanian artists loved by Californian people, you know,
Yeah.
and this thing happened in the years, but it's so different from the pop and rock culture, which has always saw mostly Anglo-American artists, you know. But it can only be about the fact that electronic dance music doesn't have lyrics. There has to be something more about it. What is it for you? I mean, that created
Well,
such a global scene on the main characters,
I
not
think
only in the fans, but like in the players. You're French, for
um,
example. You know, you're not
I,
English, you're
I,
not
I,
American.
I think once that we understood that England and America is not the center of the earth, that there is people producing great music in Italy, in France, in Belgium, in Romania, in Slovakia, in blah blah blah, and in Africa, and in Japan, and in anywhere. Once we understand that, and I think the fact, I mean, you mentioned being instrumental. I think it's a very important fact because I strongly believe that in Italy you're not listening to a lot of French hip hop. Same as the French kids over here, they don't listen to Italian hip hop because the words and the culture is very important. But when it comes to techno, I think it's such a global thing because everybody can understand everybody, and it's not just about your your crew, and it's not just about your township. It's a much more global vision of things. Um, and now as well, as I was saying, America and England are not the leader anymore in this music, and even the press. I mean, I remember 30 years ago, uh, when I moved back from England to France, the only newspaper and magazine we were reading were English, and we were very interested in NME, a music magazine, Mix Mag, DJ Mag. That meant a lot back then. But I think now, from having amazing producers all over the world, these magazines are not relevant anymore because there's great music and there's great people in this scene everywhere. And they have proved over the years that they can sell music outside of their own country. I think the way we promote our music and the way we think it's a very global way. When we make music, I mean, I remember um, when I first released my first records in France, we went to the record company and we said to them, the idea is not to sell to France, it's to sell outside. And we believe that if we will be successful outside France, it will come back here. And I think this is a very different way of thinking how to market your music compared to the rock world, compared to the hip hop world or the jazz world, where they think territory. We don't think territory. We think a much more global way. I think it's our way of thinking. I think it is. I think it is. But I'm not sure. Perhaps I'm wrong. I don't know.
Un altro piccolo spoiler che magari avete visto già nel trailer. Laurent dice
No spoiler.
no,
No
it's not a
spoiler.
spoiler because it's in the trailer as well. When you say
Okay.
that you love punk, you love soul, you love hip hop, it's also in the short trailer. So, quindi probabilmente l'avete visto. Lui dice io amavo il punk, amavo l'hip hop, amavo il soul e poi ho trovato nell'house della techno un po' il riassunto di tutto quello che amavo e sono andato dentro, rappresentava tutto quello che amavo prima. Però quelli sono stati tutti dei movimenti, delle sottoculture musicali, dei movimenti giovanili precedenti all'house della techno. A me sembra che il grande mondo dell'house della techno sia stato forse l'ultimo grande movimento globale giovanile legato alla musica. Vediamo se pensa lo stesso Laurent. Laurent, so you're saying, yeah, as I said in the trailer and in the movie, that you loved rock, you loved hip hop, you loved soul, and then when house and techno came out, you felt that they were summing it up, you know, they were recapping all those cultures, and you loved it. And it seems to me that eventually all those movements they come before house and techno, and probably house and techno have been the last very large global youth culture
Of
connected
course.
to music.
Of course.
Do you-
Yes. Definitely. I mean, for me, techno is the last major revolution in music. Definitely the last revolution in the 20th century. And there's since techno music, there haven't been a movement that have changed the whole perspective of music worldwide like house and techno did. Just before that, just before house, there was hip hop, you know, back in 82, 83, but house and techno came in 88, and since 1988 I don't see what major musical revolution has happened. For sure, house and techno is the last huge massive revolution, yes, of course. But again, you know, that's what I'm saying in the film. Without new wave, without disco, without jazz, we would have never got Detroit techno. You know, without soul, without disco, we would have never got Chicago house music. So yes, I do hear in all the different styles of techno music, from the softest, the funkiest, up to the hardest, you know, the most experimental or industrial. I can hear the whole range of different style of music that came before. Yeah, for sure, for sure.
One very last thing, and then we gonna watch the movie all together here. And well, you can go to dinner or whatever, but you know we're gonna watch the movie. But
You know, I had a pizza.
you had a pizza. Well, you see, global culture. Yeah,
Respect,
come on. I mean,
respect,
but
guys.
you're French. You're close. You know, you're close to us. And one thing that you told me the other day in the radio interview that we did is that your next move is this big website that you're building, yeah, and maybe you tell us
Yes.
something about it. But then you got some new music coming next year, and
Yes.
you know we're eager to listen to it and
Okay.
dance to it very soon. But then you also said something that created a bit of a, you know, some people were really anxious to know if this is true. What you told me the other day on the radio, that in 2-3 years' time you're thinking about quitting DJing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, some people
Um,
were in despair. I received some personal
No,
messages. It's
no,
like,
they
you
don't
know,
have. You know, they don't have to be in despair. There's hundreds of amazing DJs, young DJs doing great stuff. You know, no one is irreplaceable, and I don't really want to see myself going on the other side of of the mountain. You know, I think I'm in a very nice position nowadays. I still love playing. I still get great pleasure from DJing, but I can't really picture myself DJing after 60. So, I'm going to be 56, and I still love DJing as much as when I was 18. And I think for an artist, being elegant sometimes is as well knowing when to stop. Because sometimes, unfortunately, sometimes the fans don't tell you when it's time to go. And we have seen unfortunately some, a few artists that went a bit too old, and it became a bit sad. And I don't want to go that way. And I haven't said my last word. It's not because I'm gonna really really slow down touring like the way I was doing it. It's not because I'm gonna do that I'm gonna stop entirely making music or sharing music with people. So yes, there's a website coming, and I think it should be online within the next 8 to 10 days. It's ready. I mean, we're just finalizing it now. It's ready, and basically, I've done the website like a tribute to all my fan, or how can I say? I'm trying to find a word. Something like heritage, you know, uh, because I've been keeping everything for the last 35 years: flyers, pictures, mixes, radio shows. I've been filing everything. So I always had this idea of having a place where my fans could find a lot that they never heard before, because I've been filing stuff, but I haven't been sharing it because I haven't had time. So at the moment, I'm digitalizing cassettes, tapes, okay, DATs, digitalizing all the flyers and
You're
everything,
not
and
gonna
then
sell NFTs, no?
no, 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 that's not the idea. No, no, the idea is to really like put on a website for the fans, and share a lot of stuff. Of course, it's not going to be everything the day we're going to put it on, because there's too much. But I'm gonna bring more and more. But there's already a fuck of a lot on the website. And then besides this, yes, there's gonna be a new album coming, but before the album, there's gonna be like 5 or 6 EPs. First EP is coming out in April, and all the tracks are very techno, very very dance floor orientated, very musical, quite deep, quite melancholic, quite strong. I'm very happy with the music I've done. So there's a lot of stuff coming. And yeah, I'm gonna be DJing. I plan to DJ for the next 2 or 3 years. That will leave me time to go to all the places, and slowly say goodbye. But really, really, you don't have to take that in a bad way, because I don't want to become sad and old, and I think it's better to stop when you're on a nice in a nice way, and it's not stopping 100%, because if I have one gig, that where we're gonna reunite everybody and it could be fun, I'll do it. But I will not tour as much as what I did before. COVID made me, I've been stuck at home for the last nearly 2 years, and it made me think a lot of my place within this business. And is it still relevant for me to come back? Should I come back? And blah blah blah. And I took the decision to say, okay, I think it will be time soon to say goodbye, and I think 60 is the limit, and that's what I've
So it's
decided.
4 years. Come on,
So
not 2 or 3. Make it 4. That's the deal.
well, let's see. You know what? Let's see, because perhaps there's going to be a lot of young new DJs going to look at me like this, and then maybe the crowd is going to be very young and look at me and think, "Who's this granddad?" And we don't know who the fuck he is. And perhaps he'll be 2 years, but perhaps he'll be 3.5. Let's see.
Cinema Beltrade, facciamo
Let's
sentire un po' di calore meneghino a Laurent Garnier.
see. Give me calore. Grazie.
Merci, maître. We're gonna watch the movie right now. Thank you, Laurent. Grazie, grazie mille.
Thank you very much, Laurent.
Listen,
and good luck for
Yeah,
any new adventure you will have in your future. And if you pass by Milan, please be our
Yes.
guest here in Cinema Beltrade.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Ciao. Ciao, ciao. Ciao.
Make some noise!
Goodbye.
Bye. E grazie mille anche a Lele Sacchi per le sue
Ciao, grazie.
ottime domande. E buona visione, naturalmente.